enjoy yourself. Hey folks, welcome back to the farm. Today we're going to launch our new kind of format. We're going to try and do, what do we call it? Farm Friday, Farm Fridays, where we're going to film every Friday, and then hopefully the next Friday, Eden's going to have edited and got it all ready and put it out. We've just really struggled. We always film stuff going on the farm, but it always ends up just sat in the back catalogue and we never actually put it together, or we end up deleting and losing footage, which is what's happened with our sheep footage. So we're going to recreate that today, but it's over to Spielberg here, new film director, who's going to make the videos. As some of you might have seen, I'm a bit delicate still after having my appendix taken out last week, so I can't do any heavy lifting. And yes. Hero farmhand here is doing everything right now. That'll do it. So what we've done, well, we've separated all of our ewes away from any of the lambs because they went back together after weaning. But that means that we've got all the lambs and the cows down in the far lake field, which we do need to go and check on today, and we'll have an update on them soon. But then also, it means that all the ewes are up here ready to go with the ram. So he arrived, what was it, three weeks ago? Yeah, probably. So he went in on bonfire night. That's kind of our normal date. Yeah, it's 20th now, so. Like I was saying, oh yeah, so he's been in a little while. So we've got some really nice ewe lambs from this year, and we've also got 10 from last year who were in here. So there's actually no need for us to have any more clins. So this is our brooder sheep, clin sheep. They are a Welsh sheep, but not like a wild hilly sheep. They're quite a sensible size. They're really, really chilled out, calm, or ours are at least, and also the best mums. They are amazing on grass. They don't need loads of feed. This is only a treat because it's so cold. They don't need we overwinter them outside. And also, they are amazing at producing twins and just being awesome mums. So they're pretty easy going and a good beginner sheep, I guess. Now, out of these, you can see that we've colour coded some. All the dots behind the neck are are basically whether we're going to keep them, we're going to potentially sell them, or they are being retired. Green, anything with green dot is best of the best, either ones we've bred last year or ones that we just love. They're good, reliable mums. Then blues are ones we would be happy to sell potentially. And then there's a couple which have been marked up because someone's bought 4 off us, and she's bought them shearlings that are going to be in lamb. Anyway, what we're here to do is talk about the ram, and I can't even see him. Oh, I just saw him a second ago. Is he down there? White on white on white. It's quite a good ram. Like, he's not going to headbutt us. No, he's pretty chilled out. Oh, there he is. Yellow. So this is our ram. He's called Heathcliff. That's the name he came with. And he's a pedigree TEXEL ram. A breed that we never thought we'd actually end up with. I don't really like TEXEL like this. Yeah, neither did I. Just because they look a bit funny and really just fat-headed. But we went out of our way to find a TEXEL ram. I mean, if you look at the size of him, he is really chunky and far more meaty than a clin ram would be. Slightly shorter. But one of the problems with a TEXEL ram is because it's a meat breed, a terminal breed, they've got a much bigger head and shoulders, and that can lead to you having problems with lambing. So we've actually gone out of our way to find a TEXEL ram who is kind of basically rated for easy lambing. He's got a fairly slim head and not crazy big wide shoulders, but he is nice and chunky. So it means that we're basically going to bring a bit more meat to the party for next year's lambs. So all of next year's lambs, some of those ewes could be kept as kind of half-bred breeding ewes, but more than likely all of those lambs will be fat lambs that we can either sell as stores, or we might be selling some of these ewes with lambs at foot. But either way, they'll be nice white-faced lambs, good growing, all on grass, and shouldn't need too much intervention from us when it comes to lambing. So sometimes you find that the Clym breed, people have over the years bred in a bit of TEXEL into them, and you can tell by looking at their heads. And we've got a couple like that, I think, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
There's
we've got a few that by the neighbour.
The neighbour's ram got in, yeah, but rather than those, we've actually got two. One's actually being retired. There's another one in here. There were two sisters, and you can tell almost by their nostrils that they probably have a bit of TEXEL in them, but most of ours are kind of classic Clyms. And the next thing you'll notice is some of them, hopefully a lot of them, have got big blue bums now. And the reason for that is because we're running blue raddle on the ram here. All right, I didn't think it would take him long to find the gate. So we'll get him hurdled in down here, hopefully, and then pin him in a corner, slap it on, turn him loose. Good lad. You ready? Come on. He's eager. Enjoy yourself. Get on in there, mate. So she was obviously in season because she just stood there and was interested in him. Trouble is, some of these ewes are quite tall now, so he's going to have to get his eye in and work out what he's doing. You're quite short, buddy. So you might have to come in a bit closer, but you can see his chest, like we've done in previous years. We don't mess around with the crayons on the harnesses because, well, we haven't got a harness and they're just a bit of faff. So we mix up the raddle with some oil and it gets put on his sternum, like on his chest bone. And then, of course, when he hops on, he leaves a mark. So if you have a look...
Oh, yeah, that one's definitely...
Well, this would have been one of the first, hence why the blue's so prominent. But even this girl has got blue on her. So most of them have, but there's probably about a third which haven't. And
yeah, like she might. Oh,
I don't think she has.
But that one definitely.
Yeah.
Hello.
Now, one thing we really wanted to avoid is lambing like last year, where it was spread out over about 4 weeks. And because we lamb outdoors, out here in this field, you're up here, middle of the night, walking around, checking. For 4 weeks, that gets pretty tiring. So the aim was hopefully to have a more compact lambing. The only way you can do that is, well, there's a couple of ways. One would be to use a teaser. A teaser is a ram that's been vasectomized, so he kind of goes in a month before and they all end up in sync with each other before the actual ram goes in. But of course you have to have a teaser. So we might do that next year, because that ram could also be a company, company to keep the other ram happy, and when they're penned separate all year. The other option is you can swab and basically chemically put them in sync. And it's something you insert in the sheep and then you take it back out again. But both of those things we haven't done. I don't know if there's any argument in sort of like having the ram in an adjacent field or whatever, coming up to, I mean, I'm sure on our first year everyone lambed within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But don't you think?
Mm.
Well, we lambed indoors that time as well, which maybe that just felt like they were close together. But either way, we need to be prepared that it's going to be a bit drawn out again.
Yeah.
So after the first cycle, which is the sort of 3 weeks since bonfire night, which is coming up next week, we now want to be able to, ideally check that they're all blue. If they're not, we'll actually put a different colour on him, and that'll mean that if any of them colour up we'll know that they're going to lamb later, but also that they're potentially not as fertile as we'd like. But
yeah,
I'm hoping that there's just these last few ones to sweep up this week, and then everyone will be fairly sensibly close together. So we at the moment have about 30 ewes, so a small flock really, and we spent quite a lot on our ram, but we left it a little bit late. But also I do think it's worth spending more than you'd expect, because even though we've got a small number of ewes, it is half the genetics, and if it's the difference between some really strong lambs next year or something mediocre, it's probably worth it. So if you think that we'll probably be able to have this ram at least for 3 years, because we're very unlikely to keep any of his offspring for breeding, so there's no chance, like we've had in the past where we've had a pedigree ram, a clin ram, it means that we would want to keep some of his offspring on, so 2 years later we can't use that ram anymore. So we've done that twice and ended up selling our rams. This guy can stay a bit longer, so we paid £450 for him, which, you know, some rams cost extortionate amounts more than that, but that's still quite a lot. And he was probably worth a bit more than that. He's actually been scanned and ultrasounded and his performance recorded and stuff.
Yeah, he's
a good one, isn't he? And she was a very good breeder, in as much as she kind of was really into statistics. He's a little bit more like a New Zealand style TEXEL, I think, which is basically the easy lambing trait.
Yeah, not too big heads.
Not a big fat head, no. I think the show type TEXELs are the ones that you end up with cesareans and all sorts all the time, because they're just so big. But the other thing is, most of our ewes that we're breeding from, I mean, there's a few shearlings, but they're good sized shearlings. Most of our ewes are second, third, fourth timers, so having bigger lambs shouldn't be an issue, and we don't normally have any problems. But we'll just have to be careful that if there are any singles, you know, that's what we've had problem with in the past, isn't it?
Yep.
Like horse last year, giant headed.
Yeah, it's why we always get a giant one.
We always, yeah, and it's always a single when all the energy's gone into one lamb. And anyway, so that's where we're at. This is the one I would say is half TEXEL. Oh no, that's where TEXEL from next door got in, I think.
Yeah.
So she's unregistered, but she's a nice ewe. So her lamb should be good size. But we've got to be careful, because we said that last year. We said, oh, we're going to sell half of the flock with lambs at foot, and we sold one because I didn't even bother to list them. We cannot go into next year, because this is potentially a 60 lamb flock. So that takes, this group would be, you know, over 100 head, plus our others. It's too much. So
I don't think it's too much, but...
Well, you can buy me another field.
Too much for the land, yeah.
Yeah, too much for the land. Oh yeah, it's not too much to manage. It's probably not much different if you have 30 ewes or 50 ewes. It's not a big deal breaker, but just the sheer amount of grass. You can see there's not much here now. All this herbal lay's been nibbled down, so we need to start bringing the round bales in.
Literally pick one up and eat it like a salad.
Yeah, this was a great field. It probably needs next year a good harrow and a bit of love. But anyway, that is sheep update, and we'll have a look, because we're going to have to go and check on the cows anyway, aren't we? So
yeah,
we'll have a look at what's going on with the lambs down there. I fear what's happened is probably the same as last year, where they were really chunky by September, and they're going to start to slip now. So I think we need to
feed them up.
Well, we need to sort through them and get a load sold, even if they go as stores. Other jobs for today then? What have we got?
We've got to go and feed the lambs and Lottie and the cows.
Yeah, I think the round bale can last another day. So we've got round bales now, but I obviously can't twist or lift or move them at all.
Nope.
So I've had Dad line them up so I can just pick them up with the tractor and roll them down there, or wheel them down and then hopefully tip them with the back forks, which is okay. I'm being sensible. Oh, we could have a pig update. Let's have a quick look at the pigs before we finish.
Yeah. I was going to say we should have a look at the pigs down there.
So who have we got down there?
We've got Miss Honey, Matilda, Lavender and Amber. All the big pigs.
So all the big pigs. And Miss Honey, so Bruce, our boar, came back about 4 weeks ago. So we put him in the Dutch barn. And because Miss Honey didn't have a litter, she went in with him. And I'm pretty sure he served her. So she should have spring piglets, which is great, because that's what we normally want. And she's a big litter. Then we had the litters from September, and they're being sold at the moment. So they're actually living in a trailer. We let them out yesterday and they started destroying the place, as they do. 2 gilts we're going to hold on to. One is
for breeding and one is for meat.
Yeah, she's a runt, so we'll keep her on. But we can probably, by the time lavender's dried off down there, we can, another week, those 2 can go back in, and there'll just be a mixed group of girls down there. They'll all get on and they can all huddle up in the winter. But the 4 boys in here, 2 are sold. So there's only 2 boys to sell, which is okay. This is her. So this girl here is the one that I think we're going to hold on to. Whether we keep her or not, I don't know. But piglets is one thing I really don't want to be carrying. They're heavy and they wriggle, and that's just painful, and I don't really want to end up with a hernia. So until I'm fighting fit again, I'm just having... Dad's coming up now and then. He came up this week and did a load of heavy lifting. So I got him to grab the rear legs of her. I went through and counted all the teats, made sure that everything's in order, and she is good to register. So I think she's going to be registered. We probably won't keep her for ourselves. I'll probably grow her on and sell her as a breeding gilt, because obviously she's related to our boar. And we've got 4. We've got 3/4, yeah. Right, we decided we've got a ceremonial gate post here. That's going to be our, where we can sit the camera down for our intros and outros. So you're on the gate post, and this is going to look different over the next few weeks, because if you don't watch our DIY channel, you won't know that we're busy building the house at the moment, and we're busy cladding it. Well, we're not cladding it yet, but I just had a call from the sawmill to say all 600 metres of our cladding is milled up ready. So I'm off to, well, you're going to have to get the trailer on for me, because I can't really... But once that's on, I'm going to go off and get those so we can start cladding next week. But next videos,
we're going to do the lambs and the cows. Go and check on them.
Lamb and a cow update. We can film that today.
Yeah.
And then next week, any thoughts? Oh, I know what we need to do. Poultry.
Oh, bird flu.
Bird flu. Blooming bird flu. Or, you know, preventing it. That's all back. So we've got how many birds on the
200,
farm?
300?
300 plus.
Outside. We've got 200 outside, and then like chicks and stuff inside.
Yeah. Which is just nuts, and it's hard to manage because everything has to be either netted or indoors, protected basically from wild birds, or, you know, we'll talk about this more in the next video, but there's different criteria if you're selling the eggs, giving them away, how many birds you got.
Yeah, so
are they geese?
Under 50.
Oh, let's not go there. It's a headache, but it's also very frustrating. But we'll do that in the next video. But if you've got any other ideas for videos around the farm, we've got some new projects that we're going to do. Fridays are going to be our day for getting jobs done, making videos for you guys. But if you've got any actual questions or topics you want us to cover, we can do that as well. Turkeys. We haven't filmed any turkeys yet.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I've gone for a soft spot on my turkeys, so I don't think many of them are going to be hitting the freezer. Quite like them, actually. Right. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you next time. Get editing.